Chase. This bill would repeal a tax increase that was passed by this body in 1993. At that time, it was the largest tax increase in the history of the state of Missouri, and it did this in a fairly backhanded way. It wrote into law that you could no longer deduct the federal income taxes that you paid from your state income tax return. This bill simply undoes that. I think there's two main things this committee should understand. One is that all of Missouri does better when more of Missourians keep their income. Along with that is Missouri's economic climate improves dramatically when, and our ability to attract new businesses improves dramatically when we're not taxing businesses on money they've never seen and never really had. Finally, I think there's a moral issue in question here, and that is it right to tax people for something they've never had and have never seen? Is it right to tax on top of taxes? Most individuals have their federal taxes deducted from their paycheck. They've never had an opportunity to hold that money. They've never put it in the bank. They've never had an opportunity to invest it. They've never seen it. And yet Missouri, at the end of the year, taxes them on that money that they've never seen. I think that is wrong, and I think it's long overdue to be corrected. And with that,
what is this going to cost the state in overall revenue?
Well, and it's basically $127 million in the first year of the phase-in, and then going up incrementally thereafter.
I was just curious on which area of the economic sector this tax cut would be focused on. Is this a tax cut for the wealthy, that since the tax cut is already there for up to middle class wages, $43,000? I
think any tax cut you propose is always going to benefit most the people that pay the most taxes. I mean, or else you can't do a tax cut for people that don't pay tax or much tax, because it really won't generate any effects. So, and then secondly, I'd say this: remember, there is a corporate element in here. It is the rank and file wage earner that is hurt most when we double tax corporations, and and those corporations do one of two things. They either have less money to employ and expand in the state of Missouri, or they decide to go somewhere else where they don't have to get taxed twice on the same income that they never see. And nothing hurts a middle income family more than not being able to find a job.
Thank you, to Inquiring. I know we've talked about this bill in the past last year, and one of the concerns I wanted to visit with you about is just dealing with the fact that we have a number of organizations, and even internally in this building, some folks believe that we face a potential budget shortfall in 2010 of around $150 million. Knowing that we face a potential shortfall without any major changes to our spending as is now, there's more than really. The fiscal note on this is really more than $127 million, because by the time this thing's phased in, you're looking at around $250 million. How can you pull that together as this is a priority in light of knowing that we face some potentially pretty significant shortfalls in our ability to be able to continue providing services that we're providing now?
Well, we have started, as I said, I think it is the job of the legislature to balance priorities in order that the state live within its means. Those are decisions, whether that's true or not, whether that projection turns out to be true in 2010 or not. Those are certainly discussions that this body would have to hammer out. How do you spend whatever you've got? You still have more money than you have today in 2010. Even if you cut this, the general revenue will be larger than it is today.
So this is not for solely the higher income.
No.
This is middle income also.
And the average family income in the state of Missouri, I still believe, is right around $36,000.
My question to you is, if it was 100% in 1993, why are you phasing it in? Why aren't you doing the whole thing at one time?
Well, like I said, I would like to. I think that'd be most right, but giving some of the points of fiscal responsibility, I think it gives the state and the legislature time to grasp with the issue fiscally.
I've been.
It didn't take them long at all to figure out how to spend it when they got it.
I've been preparing income tax for 35 years. And the biggest single impact of the people I prepared taxes for was this deduction, where a person maybe paid $13,000 in federal income tax, they were cut down to $5,000 or $10,000. The biggest single, okay, probably more so than last year when they eliminated basically you had to verify your church deduction. This single change impacted the taxpayers, and I commend you for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Representative.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Tracy Weddle, and I'm here representing the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we'd like to go on record in support of House Bill 1340. We appreciate Representative Muschany bringing forth the bill and his comments that he's made already. We agree with him wholeheartedly. As he stated, there was the largest tax increase in Missouri in 1993, and for corporations that meant this cap on their federal income tax deductions of 50%, as well as a rate increase of 25% from 5% to 6.25. And, you know, working with my tax counsel, of those two, I think the most troublesome is the cap on the federal income tax deduction. On the corporate side, this impacts all corporations. If you're a small mom and pop, or if you're a large corporation, you're capped at 50% versus the individual income tax side, which may only impact those in the larger tax brackets. So we wholeheartedly support restoring the full deductibility, and I will also say on the corporate side, that out of the fiscal impact, that is the very smallest piece. I believe it's around $50 to $60 million. So if you phase that out over 10 years, you're only looking at about $10 to $12 million a year as far as a fiscal impact. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the witness? To inquire. Since 1993, what have we seen as far as corporations moving to Missouri and expanding? I mean, have we seen since this tax passed, have we seen the economy grow and the unemployment go down, or hasn't had a negative impact? Or what impact has it had on corporations?
You mean based on this tax increase?
Since 1993 period. I mean, you can't, I'm not saying to draw a connection to this tax increase, but just in general, what has the corporate climate in Missouri looked like since 1993? Has there, in your opinion, has it gotten worse since then?
Well, I think it would depend on industry. It would depend on a lot of things that you're looking at. I can tell you that there has been an increase in some jobs in the state, but in the manufacturing industry, there was a decrease of about 65,000 jobs according to the National Association of Manufacturers over the last 5 to 6 years. So it would depend on what industry that you were looking at. And
benefit.
I'm sorry?
Net. I mean, have we gained jobs since 1993, or have we lost jobs since 1993, on the whole?
I probably can't answer your question right now, but I'd be happy to get that information and share it with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Projections that I've done for fiscal year 09 and fiscal year 2010, the state continues to have decent revenue growth. At the forecast level, the consensus revenue estimate is 3.1 and 3.4% growth. The state revenue situation for the rest of this year, of course, will be fine, and there would certainly be enough revenue to do a pretty adequate budget in fiscal year 2009. However, the situation deteriorates pretty markedly in fiscal year 2010. Estimates range that I've put together look a revenue shortfall or deficit of anywhere, let's say, sake around numbers, $350 to $700 million to sustain the current level of spending that we're at. And the reason for that is the tax cuts that were enacted last year grow over time and begin to further diminish the state's general revenue base. I would be of the opinion that economic development is best served by states investing adequately in education, infrastructure, health care, and other things that make a state a good place to live and work. And big tax cut like this might make that a little tough for the state budget to be able to continue to do that. So
our concern is similar to what's already been expressed. We want Missouri's tax code to be fair, adequate, and sustainable, and able to allow the legislature to be able to fund investments in public education, higher education, the other things that Missourians need.